Alright, in this video, if you have all your major chords down, we're going to be covering minor chords. Okay? In a minor chord, how you form a minor chord is basically take a major chord, okay, that's a C major chord, and that's the first inversion, or root position. Okay? Now take that second note and lower it 1/2 a step. That's how you form a minor chord. It's very, very simple. Okay? Take any note. There's your D major. Lower that middle note 1/2 step. That's your minor chord. Okay? Here's your A major chord. A, D flat, and E. Lower that 1/2 step. You'll have A, C, and E. You can find chord charts and everything that'll show you this and that'll be more like by memorization. But believe me, it's a lot better if you understand how to form them on your own. It's a lot better, and to understand it instead of just memorizing it. Okay, so that's how you form an an A minor chord. Okay, so if you've come this far, you should understand now that you can take. You take any note, any major chord, regular major chord, lower it middle note 1/2 step, and you end up with the minor chord of that note. Okay? Now inversions also apply here. So let's take a C minor chord. C, E flat, and G. Now invert it up one. E flat, G, and C. Now invert it again. G, C, and E flat. Okay? Now what you do is you learn all your minor chords off every note. Now when we get into playing songs, and this one I'm going to show you the ones to get down pat first off the C scale. Okay, so I already showed you that your 3 major chords off the C scale was your C chord, your F chord, and your G chord. Okay, and why are these the 3 major chords on the C scale? Okay, here's why. If you have a C in your C chord, okay, all the notes in your C major chord are in the C scale. Now if you take a D major chord, that middle note is not in the C scale. Okay? So you hardly ever, a D major, you can play, I do play D majors when I'm playing the C scale, but it's not really relevant though to the C major scale. You do that in a little more advanced playing. Okay? Now you wouldn't play a D major chord in the C scale. Now an E major, that's an E major. The middle note is a black note, A flat. It's not really relevant to the C scale. Now let's go to an F major. Okay, all these notes are in the C scale, so this chord works in the C scale. F major, G major. Same thing goes here, G, B, and D. All these notes are in the C scale. Okay? Now let's go A major. No, that middle note is D flat. It's not in the C scale, so that's not your major chord. Your chord off your A is not going to be a major chord, is what I'm saying. Now your B chord. 2 notes are not in the C scale. Okay? So your B, you wouldn't play a B major if you're playing the key of C. Okay? So now that we know that, off any scale, your 1, that's your 1 chord. You also want to get your scales memorized as numbers. C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5, A is 6, B is 7, and C is 1 again. Okay? So after you have that, after you know your numbers off your scale, you'll know that your 1, your 4, and your 5. Those are the 3 major chords off any scale. Now I'm teaching you this in the C scale and off of letters, but whenever you start to get to playing in all kinds of different keys, you want to really understand all the scales by numbers, because notes, the letters of the notes change in every scale, but numbers always stay the same. Like an F is not going to be your 4th chord off anything but a C, but if you call it a 4, well then if you take any scale, you go up 4, and then that's your major chord. Okay, so your C, which is your 1, your F, which is your 4, and your G, which is your 5, is your 3 major chords that you're going to play in any scale. The 1, the 4, and the 5. And in the scale of C, it just happens to be C, F, and G. Okay, so the minor chords that are relevant to the scale, since D major is non-relevant, you take that middle note, you lower it 1/2 step, and you have a D minor chord. So if you're going to play off the D, it's going to be that D minor chord. Okay? Let's go to E. Lower that 1/2 step. Okay? So that's an E minor chord. That's relevant to the scale. Okay, now F is a major, G is a major. Let's try A. That's an A major. We lower that 1. It's an A minor chord. Okay, and that's relevant to the scale. So we're going to play an A minor chord in the scale of C. So the 3 major chords you need to get memorized and down pat is the D minor, the E minor, which is E, E, G, and B, and your A minor. Okay? So that's the 3 minor chords that you're going to learn off of that C scale. And you also want to learn all the minor chords off of every note. But as far as playing in the C scale, those are the 3 minor chords that you need to get memorized if you're whenever we get into playing a song with it.